What's going on, guys? I'm standing on the squeaky spot of my shop floor. It doesn't do it now, I'm on camera. Yeah, so you're joining this in the middle of redoing my shop again. So it's it's been just a week over exactly 3 years since I built this out. It's a 12 by 24 storage shed, and yeah, made my studio and really got things rolling. This was before I had product line, before I had the rat rods and the hot rod kits, before I was even into 3D printing at all. And yeah, man, it's just been a battle trying to keep this space functional. And that's the point I've been at now, is where I cannot even film. That's why I decided the other night, I just gave up and I got to tear it all out and start over. So, like I've mentioned before in some Facebook posts and stuff, trying to incorporate the kits, the storage of the products, the manufacturing, the shipping, having space to actually pack orders and do all that stuff, keep packing supplies and all that is just overwhelmed completely. And I've got a fourth printer coming. It's back ordered right now, so that'll have its own video when we set it up and get it rolling. But I've got a Bambu Labs H2S, sorry. I have H2D already. Don't really need the dual head thing for what I'm making for my kits and stuff. I don't print multiple colors, so that seemed like the best solution to the situation. But I've already carved out some space with that. I've done a ton of work already, so let me get you up to speed on where we're at. So where I'm at is I have no room to walk. I've got a lot of stuff I don't need to have out here, like Hot Wheels. I've started gathering Hot Wheels again. Started doing the Chop Toys YouTube channel again. That stuff is taking up space. And yeah, it's eating up a lot of space. So I've got to figure out what to do with that. I'm about to move some more stuff around. I'm trying to get rid of this whole center section. When I first built the shop, this was underneath there. It fits perfect. I built it that way. I'd already moved the other thing over here. It was an old fireplace. That's like shipping supplies, books, records, all that stuff. I've got Tamiya stuff under there. I've got some space still. I've still got one spot up here and some space above the door. So we're doing good. But the big thing I've done is I've added these two wire racks on the end. There's a roll-up door behind that, and now it is completely closed off. But I've got a better workspace situation. Once I get done, I'll actually be able to pack orders up here. So I'll have dedicated space for video editing, doing all that. I've got storage for boxes, got the kit parts all in one place other than the bodies that are all still over there. And I've got all my filament, and this is probably the most I'll ever have at one time. I really stocked up here as they were on sale for the holidays. So if you check that Bambu Labs affiliate link below, it would help out a lot. So I've carved out another spot here. Obviously the H2S is the same size as the H2D. I mean, I've already got the poop chute and bucket printed. I printed a new one for this machine because my other one was falling off. I've got junk thrown up here in the meantime. Got space up here for the AMS2. I just got that. The H2D I've got on the HT, and I've got those routed through holes in the shelves. And when I moved the shelves a couple weeks ago, I had to make a new hole. So that's gonna work out perfectly to connect the new printer to its AMS and keep it up out of the way. These things are very stout tables I built. They're built into the wall. They're all into studs, so I don't have to worry about the weight. It's never been an issue. The vibrations on the printer, that's why they're where they are, so it doesn't cause discrepancies in the print. My main problem right now is I've got too many scale garages. So I moved this one back over here, and it works because it kind of two walls. This one, I don't know what to do with. This is the one I got second place at USTE. I'm thinking about selling it. Don't get the ribbon with it if I sell it. I just don't have anywhere to put it. So I don't know yet. I've got this old weatherhead thing. This is full of parts. That whole right side is full of axles and axle parts, motor parts. Middle parts are prototype parts for the kits. Left side is just junk basically, but that's crucial to have in here. I just don't have anywhere to put it. Over here I've got kit parts. We've got a reef servos and servo horns, spare parts and extra parts that I have to, when I get new kits. If I have, say I need more shop trucks, well, I need X amount of this and that, but I have some of the supports, so I can do that, save some money on the production. Rails are up there. I have rails in the studio room in a airtight container so they don't rust, with a bunch of silica. I forgot my more weathering stuff. Doesn't have a home now. Try to keep this a work area where I can cut and grind and do stuff like that and not get in the way of anything else, dirty up the computers and all of that. So the elephant in the room is the island. So if I'm gonna get rid of this stuff's all homeless. And my thought is I need a workstation. I need a, like my old shop, if you've been with me forever, when I first got my metal building at my house 5 or 6 years ago, I built a giant roll around table that I could move around for projects. I built that entire Rat King hauler truck on it. Can't see it in there. That big old semi truck. I just need that big shop vac, but that's my thought. I'm going to build, I think 3x6 will give me plenty of room to walk around. It's already nice just having enough space to walk up to the printers right now, and that way I can put stuff underneath it. And I'm thinking what I'm going to store underneath it is going to be stuff that I need to take to events. So my main storage box for events, my tables for events, scale garage maybe just in the meantime, get it out of the way. So that's the plan right now. I don't have any materials to build that yet. We'll worry about that once I get the rest of this moved. Well, if I move this over here, I've got to move the tables. I'm thinking maybe the tables go under there, because right now I do have some empty space down here as well, where I've gotten rid of other things. I was able to get a ton of stuff on those two big racks. Down at the bottom where it's hard to get to, I've got automotive stuff and things that don't even need to be in the shop, but I have nowhere else to put them right now. But yeah, I've got like my home, all the stuff for my air conditioning and all the spare pieces and stuff for that's down there. I'm trying to keep things where it makes sense, like rat rod parts, styrene, plastic, metal, fabric, new parts for the other channel. I wouldn't lose that. Still got my crawler tires out. Definitely dwindled down the selection I have on that. This big mess, these cow trays have turned into a nightmare for me because I just put everything on it. Like here, it won't go away. It'll stay magnetized. For some reason, I have 30 of these cones from Boom Racing. You get a free gift every time you order, and that's the coolest thing. So we're gonna get all the cones we can. The dozer, it'll be on the bottom of the big table. That's event packing stuff. So yeah, at least I can get over here and get to my sandpaper now. But that's the plan. I'm gonna play around with where to put the tables in the meantime, and try to get this thing out of the way, and then we'll end up with a pile of stuff in the middle of the room where we need to build. I'm actually had extra shelves right now. I don't know what to do with. I don't have any wall space really to put more shelves. I already have a shelf behind the carbon printers. That whole entire room is shelves. The only place I might could squeeze a shelf would be above the window. Maybe, no, not one of those, they're too big. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to work and fill you in as we get going as I fall over in the shop. All right, guys, got a patch thing for the door. It's the only free space I hadn't have stuff on. I'm missing a lot of patches, I found out. I posted this on social media. A lot of people were upset I didn't have their patches. I don't know where they are. After traveling and stuff, things got lost. Things are in different containers. I've switched what I use to travel with. I just went through the last bucket in there, and I can't find it anymore, so I have to get them again. But now I'm left with a few things out, and like that's full of display kits and some parts. I've got to have that yellow thing where I can get to it. So I've actually found myself in a position I didn't think I'd ever be in, where I have extra shelves. I even considered putting shelves on that half of the door, but I don't know, I'd have to permanently secure it, and I don't want to mess with that. So I've got to build an island. I was looking at the structure in there. I built that many years ago when I first started doing the scale stuff on the channel 7 or 8 years ago, just out of scrap wood that came with the house that I used to have. I'm thinking something similar. I need to have underneath storage, obviously. I've got to figure out the best size for in here. I need to be able to get that bin in there for sure, because that's something I travel with. And that thing somewhere permanently mounted where I can actually access it. And maybe that scale garage can fit down there too. I don't know. So that's where we're at. I've got to drop some plans tonight, price some stuff out on Home Depot, and see what size actually works. I was looking at butcher block already for the top, thinking, dollar the place up a little bit, but the piece I was looking at was like $400. I was like, well, I could just go with the cabinet grade plywood again. Probably get a sheet of that for 50 or 60 bucks these days. So I don't know yet, but I'm gonna clear off my chair and do some brainstorming tonight and see where we end up. All right, guys, update. I've got materials. I've based it off a table on Marketplace, and the guy, of course, jacked me around all day. and I just gave up and bought a sheet of plywood. So we're just gonna make our own top, but it's cold and dreary outside, so this is gonna be fun. All right, guys. Man, that's yeah, a lot of work. Got to figure out how to get this thing squared up. But this is the gist of it. It's on its side right now. Using the 4x4 post. We're gonna attach our upper ring to those, and the weight of the table will basically sit on each 4x4 post. I did router the corners, or the edges of the top piece. First time I've used that router. First time I've routed at all in 20 years. Router, the bit was rusty, but it cut pretty good. It's been in the bottom of my toolbox forever. So I put those 2x6 skids on the bottom. That way the tires will mount outboard just a little bit, give us a little more stability because it is kind of tall. I originally cut the legs at 40 or at 4 feet. I don't even remember. Yeah, I got 8 feet, cut them in half. I ended up cutting another 3 inches off of them to accommodate for the caster wheels that I've got. I don't want this too tall, but I would like it a little taller than all of my shelves are. I've got the scrap left from the 4x8 sheet. I don't know how that's going to shake out. Probably just be able to cut it in 3-foot sections and see how we can cover the bottom the best we can. Yeah, that's where we're at. I was hoping to put this on time lapse and try once I figure out how to get this square, and we'll go from there. Well, guys, a little miscalculation. I think I'm gonna take the casters off. It's just there's not enough room to really roll around in here anyway. But that is, I mean, I can rest my elbows on it, and I got a little bit of wobble. One problem: the casters, the opening on the where you screw them in was not quite. I didn't have the right kind of hardware to attach them, and I wasn't about to not. So, yeah, that's where we're at. I'm gonna take those off. Should be at a much better height. We'll look at getting stuff cut for the bottom. We'll go ahead and mount the top next once we get those off, and hopefully that height should be better. I mean, I figured 3 inches. Those are more like 5, so that's, yeah. We could come back and just lower this top brace down wherever we need it and then chop these off, but I really don't want to do that much cutting inside the shop. I've already got a mess just from pre-drilling the holes, so yeah, I think that's the plan. I'm just going to take the wheels off and go from there. So back to it. All right, guys, that was a lot of work. Still a little bigger than I intended. I've got plenty of room over here. I've eaten up my space where I usually put my chair to relax, but I can get around here a lot easier. It's still pretty narrow, but it'll do for now. Got all this stuff organized. Got space for my new printer on the way and some actual workspace again. We still got some space underneath here too. So yeah, once I figure that out. All I had for scrap was I had a couple feet of 2x4s, 2 feet of the 2x6, and 1 piece of the good plywood, cabinet grade stuff. So that'll make a great shelf if I discover any more walls that we could mount some on. I do have some shelf brackets left over. I'm thinking maybe of putting some shelves in here, maybe one across the back that way. Maybe for the semi-trailers or something, we could get one up there. I don't know if that, I think the low boy's too long for that, but yeah, I gotta figure out how to get my chair up here, my mat. We'll get some of this stuff out of here as well, hopefully. So yeah, I'm not done, but man, what a difference. The table, again, not perfect. I really wish I still had the wheels on it, the casters, but in hindsight, that's almost $70 I can take back to Home Depot. I've still got to find something to do with the Hot Wheels. I think they're going to go in the house and just not be out here for now because I don't need all that mess. Mounting this up was a pain. Oh my Lord. I had to drill holes and then try to drill all the way through the 4x4 post and bolted on. Those were some screws that came with, I think, my bed cover on my truck. Thank goodness I saved all that because that was the only thing I had long enough. And I knew I couldn't just tap that in with wood screws and expect it not to rip out of the metal. So I do have washers on the inside, and yeah, it's pretty heavy unit, but it's pretty well up there. 4 of those bolts. I did get 6 out, but I opted just to stick with 4 once I realized how solid it was. But this is super handy to have. I mean, I've got everything from kit parts, prototypes, axles, transfer case, axles, headers. All right, guys, the shop is done. So updates, we've got my wall of patches, which I was unable to find a lot of patches. I've had some folks upset about that. I don't know where they went traveling with stuff. It's lost, but still have the same BS corner over here, chargers and Makita stuff and lipos and all that. And we've got the new wall, of racks. All the product. I've got stuff on the bottom, real car parts, toolboxes, things I don't use a whole lot. Got all my filament, got my computer station kind of back and off the table so I can actually pack up here if I need to. My new printer has shipped. I actually got notice of that coming early. So I'm glad we've got the space for that now. I've got the poop chute and everything already filled in for that. It's going to be the H2S, so it's going to be another big dog like this one, just a single nozzle. I've got everything reorganized. I've got down here my file thing, and that actually has in those drawers is all the fluids for my real cars. I've got every kind of power steering and gear oil you can need. Got RC four-wheel drive boxes, boom boxes, everything's kind of coordinated to that. So that's Scottsdale parts, Blazer parts, boom parts, TAO2 parts, M chassis parts. I got TTO2 down there. I've moved all those boxes that were down there up top because they fit really good, relabeled them. That's kind of stuff I don't need to get into a whole lot. Just when I have a part that I need that I know I have and I have no clue where it is, it's going to be in there. Got some printed stuff, just scraps. I've got space up here for my AMS for the new printer. Vintage Tamiya stuff. I've got more M chassis parts, all TAO1, 02 parts, and stuff for an upcoming project. Over on this side, I moved all my tables and stuff for events, the little Husky thing, and I was able to get that shelf back in so I can keep my semi-truck stuff in those boxes. Sticks out a little bit, but somewhere good to keep them where they're all in one place. I don't have a bunch of little boxes floating around. Got the workstation, got all the kits and products up here, easy to access. Stuff for the other channel for Shop Toys. So I got my workstation, it's about the cleanest it's ever been, and easy to access. Down here I've got my more travel stuff, my packing peanuts, air compressor. Got the semis, got some shelves and display. Still got the spray paint rack, it's overfilled. I bought some new paint today. We got my mud flap from Billy Goodman. hanging up in here. Leaf blower down there. That other scale garage, I found it a spot to shove up in there for now. It's kind of a catch-all. Other upcoming projects. This scale garage, I had the red truck over there, but I just pulled it out for trying to organize parts. This project, I don't have anywhere good to put the semis because they're so big, but I've got all my rust stuff. I've got more Tonka parts. Everything got relabeled, so it's all in a different spot now, so at least I'll be able to see it. I did get a little bit of cleaning done in here. I got all this junk off of this. This is actually where I keep the chassis rails for the kits. They're airtight with silica in there so they don't flash rust too quickly. And everything is just jam-packed. I've got one spot for one of these. Everything is packed over here. I need to see about making some more shelves on this, but I, like an idiot, when I built all this, I used brad nails. So ripping this apart is not going to be an easy thing. But you see, we could still a couple inches there. That one's pretty tight. An inch there, and then down at the bottom we've got quite a bit. So we could squeeze in another shelf. But the only thing left to clean really is all my bins of hardware need to be put back in their respective bins over here. But I'm pretty happy about this. This it's still kind of a obstacle in the shop to get around. It's much taller than I really anticipated. Obviously, we didn't put the caster wheels on it because it made it way too tall, and I didn't want to have to cut the legs again because I was already out of daylight. But this is perfect height for me. I like working on RCs up high because then I'm leaning on it with my forearms right now, so I can get eye level. I can check the stance of things and really see what's going on better. This thing is super solid. Doesn't have any shake to it. Weighs a ton. Bolting this thing on was probably the most challenging thing, but I needed that. That's got so much stuff in it, and I really needed it to be attached to something, and I had no other walls in the shop to attach it to, so yeah, this is it. Still no place to put my recliner. It's about broken anyway. I've had to restitch one side of it about 5 times now. But I think that's going to wrap it up. I appreciate you guys watching. This is kind of different kind of content. It's been fun though. I used to do this kind of stuff more often when I had my house, so getting to do some woodworking was actually nice for a change. And yeah, made something decent looking. Not as nice as the tabletop that I was looking at putting on it originally, but it'll get the job done. I thought about maybe like lacquering it or something, but I don't know. I didn't do any of this stuff and it's holding up just fine, so we'll see how it wears over time. Get some age and patina on it. But yeah, now we can get back to work on the RC. Now I have somewhere to sit something down when I need to move it. That was the biggest thing, and I got to the breaking point. I was just finished filming that, and I went to move it off of the scale garage, and I had absolutely no free space to set it. I couldn't set it on the shipping station, was crowded. The parts department was crowded. The printing area was crowded. I was like, I had nothing, nowhere to put it. So I needed somewhere I can at least just transition stuff. And after all that work yesterday, I actually hopped up there and laid down because it felt good on my back. So I have somewhere I can take a nap if I lock myself out of the house, which has happened before. So, but anyways, I appreciate you guys. Get out there and do something with the hobby. Yeah, hope to inspire you to create and make your own creative space and make it work for your needs. And yeah, just have fun with the hobby. Keep it scale, and I'll see you next time.